Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to a stacked Unseen, right? There is so much stuff in here. In fact, as soon as I uploaded Unseen, things started coming through that people had noticed. I probably could have done another Unseen just a couple of hours after the last Unseen, but I thought, well, let's wait, let's keep it all in this one episode, like a mega episode. But as a result, this is rammed. There is a lot to get through, a lot of really good stuff as well. Stuff that, if you haven't seen, like Twitter today, I think you're going to find a lot of the stuff on here very interesting. If you have been on Twitter today, you probably will have seen a few of these bits doing the rounds. Let's start with the Bloodline folder, right? So here you can see Paul Heyman actually doing his intro for his return.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be 5 versus 5. Ladies and gentlemen!
That's so good, isn't it? That is so good. So he did it live, and then he went out through the curtain, like that moment of when he's like just waiting for that right moment to deliver it, and then he walks out with such purpose. I love that clip. I think that's awesome. Right, updated poster. Here you can see OG Bloodline with Punk just behind Roman, and then there is Timu Bloodline, and obviously Bronson finds himself in about 3rd place there. I don't think these are in any sort of order, but clearly they want you to see Punk, and obviously Roman is going to be at the front. So that is the updated Survivor Series poster. Right, Generation, this was 23 hours ago, so do you remember I was saying stuff was coming through like an hour or two after Unseen? Well, I was tagged in this by Princess Leonore around that time, 22 hours ago, right? Punk said, "It's not about me and you, it's about him," and then pointed to Paul Heyman. Roman says, "He's my Wiseman." Punk replied, "We'll see. This feud will be legendary. I cannot wait." So that is a really interesting little exchange there. We did speak in Unseen about how this was not the warmest relationship we've ever seen, right? He is clearly doing this to help Paul. That's why he's doing it. He ain't doing it to help Roman, right? And that is a very interesting exchange right there. It's going to be interesting to see how all of these coexist inside of War Games. So, Princess, thank you. CM Punk, who booked this? Beep. Right? Fade saying CM Punk trolling right now. So, I wonder if he saw some reaction, because there was a little bit of negative reaction out there. I saw a lot of people posting to those that say this doesn't make sense, blah, 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 it does because blah, 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 right? So there definitely was people out there that was questioning this. I've made my feelings clear on it. I think as soon as Bronson was added, this being just about family sort of went out the window. So I was expecting Seth. I thought there was a chance it would be Punk because of Heyman, and they went with Punk. So yeah, Seth was the person I was expecting, but Punk was in the running. So CM Punk, I'm guessing, has seen a little bit of backlash. There really wasn't much, though. I'd say this was more overwhelmingly positive than negative. But he posted that after Smackdown. Right, WRKD Wrestling, right? CM Punk joining Team OG Bloodline will reportedly build to an eventual WrestleMania feud with Seth Rollins, with Punk bringing up that he stepped up when Rollins didn't for the Survivor Series War Games. So this is going to play into this story. You know, he answered the call from Paul Heyman. He stepped up to try and bring down the Timu Bloodline when Seth refused. And that apparently will play into their feud as we head to WrestleMania. Chanman said Bronson Reed was already planting seeds when he mentioned CM Punk's name a few days ago. We covered this in Unseen. So CM Punk mentioned he wanted to face some people. One of the names Punk mentioned was Bronson Reed. This caught Bronson Reed's ear. He replied, "I am money. I'll whoop him so hard his Pepsi logo will turn to a Coca-Cola one. Taste the feeling." Beep. So, did he pull this out because he knew that this was literally just a couple of days? 3 days ago this was apparently. So did he know that it was just like 2-3 days away from actually them confronting? Is that why he specifically responded to this? Champman thinks so. Says it was a smart thing to do. Adam Pearce has tweeted, he says Finn, right, which is the end, final, right? So this is after he has been putting out all those teases. Do you remember he's been posting pictures, random pictures, and we said we think he's teasing who the fifth man could be. You know, he put out a picture of Daniel Bryan, he put out a picture of Brock Lesnar, he put out a picture of Shane McMahon, he put out a picture of Seth Rollins, right? He's putting out all these pictures, all these images. The Brock one got a lot of attention. As soon as Smackdown concluded, he put out this one where he even had like a Rickroll thing on there as well. So this has concluded now. This to me is confirmation that that's what he had been teasing, just putting ideas out as to who the fifth man would be revealed to be. Usi Claus said they plot in bit of banter. Shout out to you. Bit of banter, always so supportive and making really fun edits, and it's always appreciated. And tag me in this as well. So every single look, word, everything has been read into with this segment. People have gone crazy, right? When it goes to like little Easter eggs and everything. What I would say is, you know, I think it's interesting to look at this stuff. Don't fall into the trap of thinking it's definitely going to go a certain way because of something you've seen that's a potential Easter egg. Because I also think there could be some swerves that they're planting on purpose, right? So I'm not saying this. I don't even know that this is anything. But just a little look here between, that looks like Jimmy to me. Like, there you go. You can see Heyman just having a little look over towards Jimmy. Usi Claus thinking they might be plotting something. It's something to be aware of. I don't think there's anything to it. But honestly, there's just so much to talk about with this segment, hence why it's got its own folder. I thought this was worth including. As well as that, after the segment, Tama Tonga needed to get stitches. Because following a shocking finish to SmackDown, Tama Tonga required medical attention after trading haymakers with the members of OG Bloodline.
So if you need, you can give him another one to hold on there. If you need
It
to
does
go,
feel like a big ass.
yeah, and if you need to go like rinse your mouth out or something, go ahead.
I'm good. Let's go, baby.
Well, I gotta let it kick in.
Okay. Oh, all right. I'll pay.
Look at it, it's really swollen. I'd love it if that woman had looked at him because he was doing this and she had no idea what was happening. But look, you get him, see him getting stitches now.
Yeah, I got those luscious lips. They're really luscious now. My wife is gonna love this.
Right, Night Legacy said there is more to this Bloodline story. In the photo below, Sami is clearly giving Roman a weird look. And why is Heyman suddenly wearing the same outfit as Solo? We'll come back to that. The phone may be a part of the story. Maybe Sami has been in contact with Paul this entire time. So people are thinking Paul's giving Jimmy an interesting look. People are thinking that Sami is giving Roman an interesting look. Paul Heyman's got an interesting look. Looks like he's been living on a sunbed for the past 7 months or however long he's been out, right? So, again, as I said, every look, every mannerism, every word has really been analysed. Again, I don't know that there's anything in here. I do think a swerve is coming, right? I do think a swerve is coming. I think what I am really fixated on is Heyman said when he comes back, it will launch 12 months worth of storyline. He said that he doesn't want to come back until it's something significant, right? So, you know, him coming back and introducing the fifth man, is that significant? Does this launch 12 months worth of storyline? I mean, you can certainly make the argument that for Punk, this is going to help set up him and Seth, but we didn't really need Heyman to get us there, right? Obviously, it's been mentioned about him wearing the same colours as Solo, and as we said, we will get to that. So, you know, could there be something there? Like a betrayal or something going down? Not necessarily Survivor Series, but at some point in the near future. You know, I'm not ruling that out. I'm really not ruling that out, because Heyman did say that there would be something significant that would kick off 12 months worth of storyline. I don't feel like we've seen it yet. I don't feel like it was the Punk moment. So all these little looks, all these little Easter eggs or potential Easter eggs, I would say note them, but I wouldn't get too stuck on them, because I think they are planting a few little seeds to try and catch people out. Right, Jake says, Cody said that Jay would leave Roman. He left. Cody said Jimmy will leave Roman. He left. Cody said Solo will leave Roman. He left. Cody said Paul Heyman will go back to being an advocate. This is what would happen if ever Roman lost the championship, which he did, of course, at WrestleMania 40. So the only thing that's not happened is Heyman going back to being an advocate again. Yet, right? Potentially yet. If you want to see the clip of Cody saying this, I think hopefully we'll get away with playing it.
This man, well, he becomes an advocate again.
There we go. Cody telling Roman, when if he loses, this man becomes an advocate again. Everything else Cody has said has come true. So, again, just something that people are speculating over. Pro Wrestling Finesse said the only two guys who have stayed true to their word against the Bloodline, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, they can't stand them. They don't want to work with them. They hate seeing other people working with them. So I thought that was a very interesting observation. Sports Keeda just telling us something else that was mentioned, not only about that's my wise man, we'll see, but this moment, Roman saying, why are you here? CM Punk responding, I'm here to save your ass. So that was said earlier as well. And of course, this. Now, I'm just going to have a little quick moan, right? I was sent this 22 hours ago. This is one of the things that would have been in Unseen if I'd have done Unseen just a couple of hours after I'd already done Unseen, right? And I didn't want to do that. So I thought we'll sit on this and we'll wait. Obviously, this has got out. Everyone's talking about it. It's one of those things, right? So we could have been, like, you know, pretty early to the party, but instead we're now super late. But that's fine. But, you know, shout out to Joey. Joey was the first person that I was tagged in, that I was made aware of, that made this observation. So I can almost guarantee that Paul Heyman is going to turn on Roman Reigns. It's all in the little details. This was 22 hours ago, right? It's all in the little details. 12 hours ago. 10 hours after this, the same post, it's always the small details. My moan, right, is these big accounts, and WrestleMania is a big account, that are seemingly ripping off this stuff from other people, passing it off as their own, and getting massive engagement as a result. There is no credit here given to anyone that came up with this first. And I've actually had people get in touch with me saying, have you seen this that WrestleMania has discovered. I can't stress this enough. They are so late to this party. They are so late to this conversation that I have already seen at least 20 accounts that have already posted this. And here's one of the examples, right? This was the first that I saw. But of course, this got out, and so other people were posting about it. And I don't even know if Joey was the first. There may have been someone else that came out with it 23 hours ago, right? 24 hours ago. What I do know is it certainly weren't these guys. They were super late to the party. But there's no credit. It's got the same kind of verbiage as what Joey has used. It's borderline even the same images. I mean, these are the same images. These are the exact same images, actually. So they've took the images. They have seemingly taken or just tweaked this last little line and then just completely passed it off as their own, and they get the reward for it. Honestly, this is the state of the IWC in 2024. It's awful. So, trash, yeah? I ain't got nothing against them, but this post, trash. That is trash. That is trash. It is worth saying, I think that there's, quite a few people that work on this account. It's not just one guy. So, whoever runs their social media, yeah, do better, because that's garbage. So let's go back to Joey, shall we? Who's got this observation that Paul Heyman is wearing the jacket with the red shirt, the red pocket square, same as Solo Sikoa. I think they are aware that this is going to be read into, this is going to be picked up on, this is going to do the rounds on social media. We've never seen Heyman wearing this. I actually made the observation during the watch-along that he was wearing this. I didn't make the connection that it was because of teasing a connection with Solo, but it did stand out, and I'm sure it stood out to you that this was not a normal Paul Heyman look, right? So this was going to get out, and this connection was going to be made, and I'm wondering if they are now planting a seed to make you think that he is joining up with Solo, or he is going to betray Roman, because I promise you there will be people out there that are now adamant this is going to happen, right? Because of what he wore. And what if he is trolling, right? What if he's sending a message to Solo? What if it's not that he's working with Solo, but he's just sending a little bit of a dig to Solo? He's dressing as him, and he can do that, and he can get away with that because he's got his tribal chief back, right? I do think a swerve is coming. Him joining up with Solo is still a potential swerve we could get. But, last time we saw Heyman, he got planted through the table. Last time we saw Heyman, he got beaten up and destroyed by this bloodline. There isn't really a reason for him to now join up with them. That would need a lot of explaining. Right? Solo would have had to have approached him and apologized, and a lot would have had to have happened away from the camera for this relationship to be repaired. So this is why I'm saying I'm not quite biting on it yet. That ain't strong enough for me to think they're working together, right? What that makes me think they're doing this on purpose. So the people out there think that's the direction we're going, so they don't see the real direction that we're going. That's my prediction on this right now. Things can change. It's obviously an ever-evolving situation, but I wouldn't bite on this. I really wouldn't bite on this. I wouldn't buy into this and be 100% that this is the direction we're going in, because as we said, how does that reunion or relationship make any sense after what we've seen? A lot would need to have been done away from the camera. So this was the Bloodline folder. We spent nearly 20 minutes on that. Wow. So this is going to be a long video, because look at this folder for Jade's, right? So, Ratchet the Owl, thank you. So, right, Jade Cargill has been diagnosed with the following injuries: deep lumbar paraspinal muscle contusions. Probably means a bruise. Then she's got bruised kidneys. Then she's got a sprained MCL in her right knee. A tibial plateau bone bruise on her right knee. facial lacerations. There is no timetable for her return. That's what WWE posted 4 hours ago. Ratchet said, I bet the MCL sprain is the real one because word has come out that she has a real injury. This is to hide the real injury, so she could be out of War Games. I don't think they wanted her out of War Games, because the point I made during the watch long is, why would you take Jade out of War Games when she's like being built? Why would you take her out of one of the biggest PLEs of the year? This is why I didn't think she would miss it, because I was thinking it doesn't make sense for her to miss it, because they're trying to build her up. You know, and it's not like she's in a singles match. She's totally protected. This is a match that she would shine in because it's just a brawl, you know? You can go, you don't need to worry about carrying your end of the bargain. It's just a load of people in a ring brawling with weapons. And, you know, it's a good showcase for her to show off some of her power moves or whatever, you know? So it doesn't make sense to remove her. But if she's actually got an injury that she's maybe picked up on a live event or whilst training, then of course it makes a lot more sense. We saw this with Rhea. Rhea actually had a broken orbital bone, and so they used an attack in NXT to write her off, but she had a real injury, hence why she's come back with the mask. So it seems like she's got a real injury. Ratchet the Owl thinks that the MCL sprain might be the real one. If it's mild, it's 1 to 3 weeks. Moderate, 2 to 4 weeks. If it's severe, 4 to 8 weeks. It's not looking good, her being in Survivor Series, I would say. So obviously no update. We don't know that she's out there saying there's no timetable for her return. So we're just waiting on an announcement that she is out and that a replacement now needs to be found. So, who did it? This has got people talking. So, Samantha tagging me in this from Naomi. Jade, sister, I need your room number at the hospital. They're talking about I'm not family, angry face. So, Naomi was trying to visit Jade, wasn't allowed in to see her, and she was not happy about it. Gabe noticed this moment here. Look. This is where Naomi seems to show a bit of anger as she's being embraced by Bayley. Naomi's actually responded to it. Look, Jeff said Naomi knows something we don't know, right? Naomi said, nah, I just had to look at Raggedy Tiffany Stratton or Candice LeRae. So she's claiming that in this moment she's actually looking out the ring and she's looking at Tiffany or Candice, hence why she's giving this face. So Naomi has actually been quite active when it's come to the topic, the subject of who attacked Jade. She's saying, nah, I was just looking at Tiffany or Candice here, so... again, believe what you want. Here, look, Neil said, where was you when Jade hit the car? Naomi was like, I was charging my light up sneakers. So I didn't even think about her sneakers that do light up when she walks. I didn't even think about the fact they would need charging, to be honest. I've never really thought about it, but the idea of charging your sneakers, it's just pretty funny. David said, it was you, Piper Niven, wasn't it? Piper said, I'm not sure what you're alluding to, but I don't appreciate the implication. Do we remember this, said Tribal Warrior? Little confrontation between Charlotte and Jade, and then obviously we ended up where we ended up. People are thinking it's Bayley. People are thinking Jade might have done it to herself. People are thinking it's Bianca, and that's going to start that feud. People are wondering if it's Charlotte. People are accusing Piper. People are accusing Naomi. People are accusing Jakara and Lash as a way of getting back onto the main roster, right? Literally everyone is being accused right now. Here's Ratchet the Owl saying, I think it's pure fusion whatevers. They need a boost in attention. No one feels threatened by them. Hence, I just called them pure fusion whatevers. Lol. So this is a really great whodunit. Yeah, really great. I'm just Ken. Shout out to you. So here, look, it was intimated to Fightful that Jade Cargill's angle was to cover for a legitimate injury we're working to confirm that. So not confirmed yet, but the belief is that it might be to cover a legit injury. So I'm just Ken, thank you. Wrestling World CC, Naomi isn't happy with fans pointing fingers at her being Jade Cargill's attacker. These allegations and theories that involve me are making me fume, says Naomi. So Naomi not pleased at the finger pointing to her. So there we go. That's the latest when it comes to Jade Cargill. Let's go WWE.
War Games! War Games! It's time to beat some ass!
There's a little giggle at the end. Which gets to me. Look at her carrying Io. Io can't do anything really, but just going along for the ride. But listen out for the little giggle at the end.
Okay, it's time to beat some ass.
And here's Chelsea. Can you see me as your champion yet? So it seems that on Monday she had a bit of a C vibe going on for her hat and her outfit, which I didn't even pick up on. I did see her backstage with Byron, and she was like doing all of this, and Byron interrupted. She was not pleased about being interrupted while she was visualizing. She said everyone's going to be chanting red, white, and green, right? So she was loving it. So not much in the WWE folder because I did pull out all the Jade stuff, all of the Bloodline stuff. Oh, Karrion. Okay, this is another talking point. This video goes for 2 minutes 37. I feel like we do need to play it, to be honest. I think you do need to see this because look at this. AWE Hallows said so. Karrion is the Nightbird, right? So, you know, quite a lot going on in here. For someone who loves to quote cryptic scripture, here's one for you. Revelations 13:16. The false prophet will force his followers to wear his mark upon their forehead as a sign of their loyalty and devotion to him. Right, let's play this video, shall we? It is well worth a watch.
Once upon a time, I had a good friend. We'll just call him Shaw. He used to love to talk.
I'm just going to stop it here for a second because I think it's an important bit of information that you know that Shaw is actually Dexter Loomis's real name. I don't really want you watching this trying to figure out who Shaw is. We believe it's Dexter Loomis because Sam Shaw is his real name. And actually, he just said he loved to talk. And obviously, we know that Dexter Loomis hasn't spoken really since he's come into WWE. So we believe this is Dexter Loomis talking about.
After a while, though, he let the world bury out his voice because I just think, like, he felt like nobody was really listening to what he had to say, but I always was. I really enjoyed our conversations.
So that's really interesting because he's saying that Dexter used to talk before he arrived in WWE, and actually Karrion used to listen and used to enjoy the conversations, but he didn't, you know, Dexter didn't think anyone really listened to what he was saying, so he stopped talking. So actually, maybe we're getting a bit of a reason as to why Dexter Loomis has never really spoken WWE, never been cutting promos. He just doesn't think the world listens to what he has to say, but apparently Karrion always did.
And then something else came and took his place. Yeah.
Something else came and took his place, so this is where we think now, of course, he has turned into Mercy the Buzzard. So he is now Mercy, right?
I don't really recognize what that thing is anymore, but if I could talk to him and I knew he was listening, I would ask him, how have you not figured this whole thing out yet?
So I think what he's saying here is, how have you not figured out that you're being used and abused, that you're, you know, doing the bidding of Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, like you're just a puppet. How have you not worked this out, right?
Because there's no way you would go along with this. There's 5, not 6. Has nobody asked the question, where's number 6?
I don't think he's talking to the fans here, because the fans have... we have definitely asked this question. This question has been asked a lot by the fans, right? I mean, obviously, we've spoke about that URL that was featured in Nightbirds that has the 6th name in it. That name seemingly starts with an A, and in a I think it was a source code, or it had all the last letters, it seems to end in an S. Hence why the theory, the leading theory, I would say, is that when Alexa Bliss comes back, she might not be in the group straight away, but eventually she will find her way to being connected with this group. So we think the 6th may be Alexa, right? That's the leading theory at the moment. So be careful about what he's about to say here, because I keep saying that Karrion is trying to tell people things they want to hear. He's trying to make people think. He's trying to muddy the waters, right? Very clever at what he does. And look what he does here.
What happened to number 6? I mean, the color scheme is exactly the same. It's black, white, and red. There's a cross in the logo. Was that not a dead giveaway? I've had a vulture with me since 2020. Everybody's seen it. It followed me around everywhere I went. And I was proud of that. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you how it is.
He's implying a lot of things, though, isn't he? You know? He's implying a lot. I'm not telling you what to think, but I'm just pointing out all of these things.
I want you to think for yourself. I want you to really analyze the situation. And there's no going back. After he put hands on Ellering, sometimes I think to myself he did that on purpose to sabotage this conversation I could have with Shaw.
So he's saying, sometimes I think that we saw Howdy take out Paul Ellering and attack Final Testament as a way of making sure that Karrion couldn't get to Dexter. If they have a history outside of WWE and they were friends at one point and they had conversations, you know, as Uncle Howdy, brainwashed Dexter and now trying to set him on and present Karrion as an enemy to ensure that there is no way that he can reach out to Dexter, that he cannot try and, pull his friend back. This is Karrion's perspective, right?
But I don't even know if Shaw is there anymore. And that kills me, losing a friend. But that's life, right? You got to roll with it. I'm still rolling with this. Not everybody apparently seems to know what that means, but...
Okay, so an update on this. He was actually really affected by Wyndham, in the sense of, apparently they had a lot of conversations at various points throughout his career. I don't know that he was ever going to be in the Wyatt Sicks, but they were certainly going to work together. And Wyndham was very excited about the idea. There's a lot of talk about WrestleMania 39 could have featured Karrion in some way. But obviously we know that wasn't meant to be. We know that obviously we lost Bray. And obviously then, nothing came of this feud, but there was a lot of conversations. They had a real connection because I think they have a lot of similar interests. And I think Bray was such a generous person that even as Karrion was making his way through NXT, Bray would excitedly talk to him, reach out to him whenever they bumped into each other. They were not really friends, I don't think, outside of work, but they had a good relationship. This was all revealed on the Chris Van Vliet interview that he did. And I think Wyndham's loss was a loss that Karrion genuinely felt. And, hence why he went out and got this tattoo.
There was a plan before this plan came along. And all I could think to myself is, would he have wanted this?
That's a really interesting thought, because I don't know that Karrion was ever going to be in a Wyatt Sicks, but I do know that Bray had a lot of time for Karrion, right? And I know that he wanted to work with Karrion, wanted to do a feud with Karrion, work a program with Karrion. He was very interested by what Karrion brought to the table. Karrion saying, would he have wanted this? I think he definitely would, to be honest, because clearly Bray Windham loved his brother. Clearly Bray Windham saw something in the people that are in the Wyatt Sicks, because we know that he played a part in selecting them, and we know that he saw a lot in Karrion Kross. I suppose what Karrion might be implying is, would Windham have wanted us to have fought against each other, or would he have wanted us to have worked together and been united? I think Windham would have been happy with either, to be honest. I think he would just be happy that all this great talent was being showcased on the show.
And I can't answer that question.
I just answered that question.
I can't. All I can tell people is, I'm the devil you know versus the devils you don't.
So is Karrion the Nightbirds? No. Is Karrion the sixth person? No. Was he ever going to be in the Wyatt Sicks? I don't think so. I can't answer that. I was not in every single meeting. Maybe the idea was floated at one point, right? But I do know that there was going to be a program that was interest in a feuds, and that was going to be around WrestleMania 39. I do know that there was a relationship there with Karrion, and Karrion was very affected by Windham's loss, his passing. So I think that he's very clever here. He's very clever. He's getting into people's heads. He is planting some seeds. If you don't really have access to maybe like a breakdown like this, then God only knows what you're thinking right now, right? He's very, very clever with his social media game. He's very, very clever with the way that he uses these opportunities, right? Because he can spin them to his advantage. Anything really, any posts that he receives, he's always thinking first, how can I use this to my advantage? I think he's a very thoughtful person. I think he's a very dangerous person. I think that he deserves a much bigger spotlight than he's had in WWE, but I've always thought that. And it's just great that now people are seeing just how talented this guy is. So, an amazing video. One that I didn't think we would go step by step through, but I wanted to play it and talk about it because there's just so much in there for us to break down. Kelly the Wise Lady said, is this new or has it said it for a while? I genuinely never look at bios. I've got so much other stuff to keep an eye on. I couldn't keep track of everyone's bio and when it changes, so I don't know is the answer. It says consequences are inescapable. Don't know when that changed. Whatever. But there we go. That is what it says currently. And Bob David, I want to give a big shout out to Bob David. I don't want to be WrestleLamia without giving credit. Bob's in here. Loomis's real name is Samuel Shaw, right? So this was where Bob kind of came through and pointed out that Dexter Loomis's real name was that. That then unlocks that whole video when you know that piece of information, because a lot of people might watch it and they may decode Shaw as Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas or even Bray Wyatt, but I definitely can understand a lot of that video better once you've got that. That is the key, right? So Bob David, shout out to you, my friend. Excellent work. Right, let's go community. Oh yes, I've got to say an apology. It was out of my control, unfortunately, but we was going to do your Survivor Series watch long this morning and my internet died. I mean, it just died. Every router in the house dead. My phone reception dead. It just all died and it didn't come back for hours and hours. I mean, it was just dead. I managed to do like half an hour, 40 odd minutes. It wasn't that I, didn't even start the stream. I was literally streaming and it crashed midstream. So there was nothing I could do. There was just no internet to be found. So I'm just going to read this because everything you need to know is in this tweet, right? So I thank you to everyone that has donated to the channel in 2024. I always say that I look to put this money back into the channel in some way, upgrading microphones, upgrading cameras, you know, better lighting, whatever it might be, right? Well, today, due to the technical difficulties not allowing us to stream earlier, I ordered Skylink. Elon Musk's Skylink, right? It's pretty expensive. It's £75 a month on top of the £50 that, well, I spend 100 at the moment, but I can get rid of one of my routers. I'll keep one and get rid of one. So that'll go down to 50 a month and then 75 on top. So listen, I just want you to know that any technical difficulties we're getting with streams, I am trying to fix them. This is a pretty big, bold move, right? But big problems need big, bold solutions. And that is my attempt to resolve this and make sure that it doesn't happen again. So, yeah, I just wanted to include it in the community folder to let people know kind of, I suppose, where donations have gone and these technical problems, which we don't have all the time by any means, just once in a while. Hopefully this is going to help resolve that. So, yes, I sorted that today. Billy said, can you put this in an unseen? I'm happy for my friends, Zelina. 6 years for them. So, yeah, I can put it in here. So, it's the anniversary, 6-year anniversary for Zelina and Aleister Black. So many congratulations to them. Little Fuego went to Smackdown and said, by far, this was my favorite picture from last night. There's Cody. There's Kevin on the table. Really great image. You can sort of see how interesting. Look, this side looks quite empty. There's people here, but definitely an empty little section there. I think actually the seats might even have been pushed back for the hard cam side. So interesting. Look at this. The Natural 421 says, my Bray tribute hurts. Heel. How cool is that? So Natural 421, shout out to you. Jim Taylor said, always nice to get a bit of feedback from WWE. So there we go, Jim, with some tweets and getting a like off Karrion and a like off Rob Fee. So Jim, shout out to you. Brandon as well. Oh my God. I don't care if I'm fangirling. A few posts about Kross. And I'm putting this thing together. So got a like and a follow from Karrion Kross. So well done to Brandon. And here's Metal Mama. I can't believe this right now. Natalia has followed me. So Metal Mama and Brandon and Jim and the Natural 421, Little Fuego, Billy, Wrestling Days. Shout out to all of you. It's always great to see people having these kind of really good experiences with the wrestlers. Right. We've really covered a lot of stuff. So let's go fun folder and then other. Corey Graves said, how can I be expected to work when I'm surrounded by insulting signs? Don't you dare get any ideas, which of course means more fans will bring more signs to do with Corey Graves. Corey Graves' face makes onions cry. Lol. Jang Tae Sang, shout out to you. Punk, they the ones. So CM Punk retweeted this. It's that picture that did the rounds. Obviously, it was the Usos and Roman when they were young. When Sami joined the group, you might remember that this picture did the round with Sami. Now, of course, CM Punk's in the group, as is the Wiseman, Paul Heyman. They came back, so they've now been added. So now this image is doing the rounds of the Bloodline when they were all together in high school. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. Thank you. Here, look, Liv has commented on this Moana 2 image. It was Seth, it was Becky, it was Rue. Liv said, I'm so glad you're enjoying retirement. Rue looks beautiful. Oh, that is savage, isn't it, from Liv? That is savage. Obviously, she gloats about sending Becky to retirement. So I'm so glad you're enjoying retirement. Rue looks beautiful. Yeah, this is the original Tribal Chief. So this was interesting little clip. Let's see if we can go full screen on it. This is going to be on... Boom. There. So this was actually one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. It was a morning TV show, and it was kind of wacky. It was kind of zany. They would always have like guests on, and they were always doing sing-songs and having banter, and it was kind of a bit anarchy, right? It was on Channel 4. It was called The Big Breakfast. It was 2 hours of just fun. It was just really fun. It was kind of, you know, you had your normal news channels and all of that, your normal kind of morning shows. But these guys were just wacky. I used to love this. Here, this was 7:54 in the morning, right? Here is Denise Van Outen, right? One of the presenters asking Yokozuna, I'm not sure on the year, what his favorite positional maneuver is, like in bed.
Positional maneuver.
I have to show you later.
Can you talk me through it so I can prepare myself? I have been... What did he say? What did he say? But that's not physically possible. I'm not a contortionist.
You want to make a bet?
But I'll have a go.
Do you want to make a bet? She's like, but that's not possible. And he's like, you want to make a bet? Oh, look at him. The original Tribal Chief Yokozuna rizzes up a British TV show host. Yeah, man, this was breakfast TV. They're lying on a bed talking about like their favorite. Look at his face as well. Ah! I love this clip. Brings back great memories. I don't remember this moment, but I do love the Big Breakfast, and it's not around anymore. It's been gone for years and years and years, but it throughout the 90s, so good, so good. After War Games is over, Dave, thank you. Custody of Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, custody of Paul Heyman. Very good. It's Bryn again. Shout out to you. So here's Fies Physics Wrestle. Remember when Thanos threw Black Widow and Storm off a cliff? So there is Black Widow. There is Storm. Jade Cargill, of course. So lots of these memes, actually. We've got another one here. It's Bryn again. Again done by Physics Wrestle. So do you remember we looked at this picture? We never noticed Jade, did we? We never noticed Jade right there next to B-Fab. So people having some fun with her. Well, maybe we shouldn't, because she might actually be injured. But even so, people having fun inserting her into different situations. CM Punk's got new merch. I think he wore it when he came out, actually. So a new shirt, new merch for CM Punk as we head to War Games. Carmelo Hayes said, I ran into CM Punk, just gave me the best advice. Never lose a backstage fight again. So there we go. That's what CM Punk's preaching. And Shaquem, thank you. Also tag me in that fun image that was doing the rounds today. Let's go other. And here we've got AJ the Best. Tag me in this. So Alexa Bliss's return draws near. Train, wash hair, then wash bottles. So she's training. She's, you know, keeping up her personal hygiene. And she is also washing bottles for her baby. So that is just a glimpse into Alexa's life at the moment. Ludwig Kaiser just made a surprise appearance at an independent show in Germany. You love to see it. And Mark tagged me in that from Fightful. Ludwig Kaiser making an appearance at WXW. So really cool moment. There is a video doing the rounds, and the pop is absolutely huge. The pop he gets is huge. Eric, thank you for the retweet, my friend. Charlie, shout out to you. Chris, thank you for the post. Word of Wrestling, appreciate it, my friend. Charlie, thank you. Big Migs Gaming, thanks for the retweet. Tea Time Danger, thank you, my friend. Matter, really appreciate it, dude. Sweet Chin Wrestling, thank you. Casper, thank you, my friend. It's Kaz81, thank you. Raymond, thanks for the retweet. Jazza, appreciate it, bud. Trenton, thanks for the retweet. OTC, Thanks for the retweet, dude. And Jang Tae Sang, thank you for the retweet. Thank you for watching this episode of Unseen. It's a long episode of Unseen, but lots to get our teeth into, lots to break down. Hopefully, a very satisfying episode. Really appreciate the support. We'll be back with a watch-along tomorrow for Survivor Series 1990. Fingers crossed the internet works. And, of course, we will have another Unseen. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.